Hi everybody, Russ on the West Ham Network. I hope you are all safe and well. If you indeed, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a bloody good subscribe. So, Thursday, the biggest game in Europe for West Ham for the last 41 years. 41 years at least. And I thought what would be really good if we could get someone, an ex-player who's not only played at, a sort of quarterfinal, was a third round, but, semi-finals, and he scored in the final and semi-final, and part of the 1976 European Cup Winners' Cup team. We had a good old chat on Sunday with Keith. Let me bring you where he is. There he is. Keith, how are you doing, Keith?
I'm very good, thank you, Russ. Very good.
Excited for Thursday?
Yeah, really looking forward to it, to tell the truth. It's been a long time since this has happened, and I think the players will be looking for a big time as well.
Yeah. And there's
Yeah,
obviously, for many people, might not know it, but Keith's one of the club ambassadors, and so we have a good old chat over a roast dinner on a Sunday usually. The game. Why is it always a roast dinner on a Sunday? It's like 11 o'clock, isn't it? I can't
11
get
o'clock in the
it.
morning.
I can't
Ridiculous.
get my head around it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I mean, you and Stag don't mind a roast dinner, do you? On a Sunday, it doesn't matter what
No, no,
time it is.
no. I don't eat it. No, Stag does. Stag, Stag does. He likes it, doesn't he? I
Oh, I
think that's
love.
his first meal of the day.
But I mean, obviously, you're sort of in the, this season particularly, you've been around the ground. Obviously, you're doing their club ambassadors roles, and it's a hell of a season, isn't it? Hell of a season, whatever happens this season.
Oh, just incredible, really. Do you know what I mean? Like at the beginning of the season, like we were saying the other day, we started off like a house on fire. We carried on from the season before, and we started with a house on fire, and all of a sudden, like then we get a little stutter where all of a sudden we get four defenders out at the same time,
Yeah,
which absolutely like destroyed us really. Then we had to change the back four, and then we started to get a few dodgy results and all that. Whereas we could have been winning them with a proper team out, and it's just gone on from there. But like we picked up and I thought the Liverpool game when we played Liverpool at home and all that, I thought we played really well against Liverpool. You know what I mean? Like I think we were one of the last teams to beat them. I think.
I think so. Yeah, before they went on their incredible run, didn't they?
Yeah.
And obviously, all eyes to Leon rather, on Thursday. And we were just saying, that Seville game is going to go down in a lot of people's minds as one of the most amazing games, I think, for West Ham. A lot of people have seen, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Russ. I thought like, do you know what I mean? Upton Park was absolutely fantastic place to
Mm,
play, without a shadow of a doubt. And I do believe we're getting there
yeah.
at the London Stadium after listening to the Seville supporters that night, and they were just like, I always say when you've got a full house on your home ground, it's near enough a goal start, really. And like
Mm.
it just showed that like they've been unbeaten for a long time, haven't they, in the cup and all that. And we just like once we got 1-1, there started to be a few little cracks in their defence as well.
Yeah, it was, and obviously people always talk about, that's that special night, the Eintracht Frankfurt night, in the
Yeah.
semi-finals, and it seems everyone I spoke to of a certain generation was there, so it must have been about 2 million people seated. Everyone seems to have been there, but who could this could be a season where we get to at least the semi-finals, maybe the final of the Europa League, and sort of replicate what you guys did in terms of getting to the final of obviously the Cup Winners' Cup. But where we spoke about before, obviously you played in terms of Anderlecht in the final at their ground. Thankfully we knocked out Sevilla, so they can't play at their ground. But
Yeah.
and obviously if we knock out Barcelona, then they can't play. A Spanish club can't play. So it could be Leipzig or Rangers or Atalanta or someone like that. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
well, it's how the draw goes, doesn't it? Really, and all that. At the end of the day, when we were playing, like we ended off like we had a finish side in the first leg,
Yeah,
and we drew 2-2, and then we got them back to Upton Park, and we beat them 3-0. And then all of a sudden, the second game we've got Ararat Aravan, which was the Turkish Russian border and all that.
Yep.
And we drew 1-1 out there, and then we come back and we win 3-1 at home. And then we have Den Haag, which was the absolute incredible game, because like we had a lad called Mick McGivern,
Yep.
who'd been out for a long time and all that. He had an injury, I think, at Liverpool, and we chucked him at the deep end in the back four and all that. And no disrespect, but like we had the back four had a bit of a nightmare the first half. We were 4-0 down in 20 minutes. And their centre forward, I think he scored a hat trick. Mansfield, I think his name was, but he scored a hat trick. So we're 4-0 down at half time. So we go off. So he takes Mick off, like, and all that, and then puts somebody else on. And all of a sudden, like, we scored 2 goals the second half. Billy Jennings scored 2 goals and all that. So we've got 4-2. So then we come back at Upton Park, and what happens again? 3-1. We beat them at home again. And then we go to Frankfurt, and God bless Graham Padden here. He scored about a 35-yarder straight in the bottom corner, which was absolutely stunning. And we lost 2-1 there, and we really should have come away with at least a draw. And what was the score at home?
3-1.
3-1. And like the thing was, it was the crowd that were behind us. I think we were 0-0 at half time.
Yeah.
And we come out the second half. And Trevor Brooker scored a great header from across and all that. And then all of a sudden, Trevor puts me through, and like the ground was absolutely that deep of mud it was, without a shadow of it. I don't think they wanted to play the German lads.
Yeah.
And then I scored, shoots it in from 25 yards and all that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, what happens again? Trevor gets a through ball from Tommy Taylor. Rounds the keeper, slots a pass. And you think, well, we're destined for the cup here. We're destined to win the cup. Like all these little setbacks we've had, and then we beat the best side in the semi-final. They were the best side by miles. And then all of a sudden we go to the Heysel Stadium in Belgium to play at Anderlecht, it's their home ground, I think, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just like it. And the worst part is the strip we wore. That's the first time we'd ever wore it, hadn't it? Oh. I think that was the first time we ever wore it. We couldn't get over it.
Crazy, innit? Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, absolute crazy, and all that. So then you've just got to carry on, haven't you? Like at the end of the day, it was a bit of a shock, really, because like to the system, really. I tried to. Peter Braybrook, you remember him?
Yeah.
Now, Peter Braybrook, I tried to give him my medal because I said nobody remembers losers; they remember winners.
Yeah.
So eventually I give my shirt away. Really, to tell the truth.
But I mean, obviously, and as you mentioned, obviously, you scored in the semi-final and you scored in the final as well, and it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's as you said, there was sometimes in West Ham, it's like, I remember, it's pale in comparison, but obviously I remember the 2006 FA Cup final. I'm only a young lad, Keith, so I haven't seen us win anything decent. So, it's sort of the spectacle, but obviously having lost that game, we've spoken to a lot of players who lost, in the FA Cup, like Paul Konchesky and Matty Etherington and people like that. They don't like to talk about that game anymore. Yeah. What is that? Is that how you deal with losing a major final like that?
Yeah, but when you do you know what I mean? Like I've just said a minute ago, like when you go away and do things like that away from home, and then come back at home, and the crowd got behind us so much. That night was probably the best atmosphere I've ever played under. Really, to tell the truth, I know the London Stadium the other night was good, but like, for the fans to get in there was queuing 3 hours before the kick-off and all that to get in. And it never stopped raining all day. And I enjoyed it. Like, it was just a gold start, really, to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Amazing.
fantastic.
And that's the thing. You're totally right. I mean, when the West Ham crowd are all guns blazing, as you said, that's that Sevilla game. I knew we were going to win, just by about 6:30, because usually we open the doors and we get a trickle of people come in.
Yeah.
But literally, they were streaming for the door at 6:30, and you could feel like the atmosphere. And I knew we were going to win just because that crowd. And you're right. I mean, listening to Sevilla players afterwards and stuff, saying it was almost as intimidating as Galatasaray and things like that. It's like, really? But you just got that feeling. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So let's start right at the beginning of your West Ham time, Keith. So obviously you signed from Newcastle, £60,000, 1974. How did it happen? How did the transfer happen? Why did you join West Ham?
I've got a classic for you.
Good.
This is the classic. The classic is like I was playing for. I'd only played 14 games, scored 3 goals and all that for Newcastle, and we were playing Liverpool reserves. And the rumour going round the ground was that Ron Greenwood was there, looking at a lad called Stuart Barraclough. I don't know whether you remember him. He was a winger.
Yeah.
Well, the word going around was he was there to watch him. So anyway, I had a good game that day. I had a really good game and all that. So when I'd finished and all that, because I used to get the bus from where I lived in a place called Hentley Hall. It was about 12 miles from Newcastle. So I had to get the bus through, walk up to the ground and all that.
Love it.
So I'm coming out of the ground afterwards and I'm walking down to the station, Warwick Street. And I'm walking down there. As I'm walking down there, there's a man walked straight past me. And I went, and I happened to look round. And as I looked around, he looked around. And who do you think it was? Ron Greenwood. It was Ron Greenwood who passed me. And then I went in on the Monday morning, and Joe Harvey, who was the manager there at Newcastle, he turned around. He said, "I've got 2 clubs come in for you." He wouldn't tell me. He said West Ham. I went, "Yeah, that'll do for me." Yeah. I said West Ham, good football side and everything and all that. I said they've got Jeff Hurst, they've got Martin Peters, they've got Bobby Moore. That'd be great and all that. And little did I know that they were going on from there, weren't they?
Yeah.
Bobby Moore was going to Fulham. Jeff Hurst was going to Stoke.
Yeah.
And I think Martin Peters was going to Tottenham.
Tottenham, yeah.
So I'm expecting seeing all of them. And like the thing was, like Trevor Brooklyn and Billy Bonds were there and all that, so it didn't matter a lot. But I came down, and we just signed Billy Jennings, who came for £100,000 from Watford.
Yeah.
Then they signed me, and then they signed Alan Taylor after that. So like, do you know what I mean? But the season we started like a League Cup. We played Tranmere Rovers.
You did,
home.
Yeah.
We beat them 6-0.
Yeah.
Then we've got Leicester at home on the Saturday. We beat them 6-3 or 6-2.
6-2, yeah, and you scored.
Yeah, we beat them. Then we beat Birmingham 3-0 on the Wednesday.
And you scored again.
And then we go to Burnley and beat them 5-3.
And you scored 2.
Yeah. So what a start for me! It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and you scored when you drew with Derby the following game as well. You had 4 games in a row.
We scored Derby. We didn't lose. We drew, I think, 2-2.
Yeah.
And we'd lost to them in the. That was a year after. Yeah. But like we never got beat. I think we lost 1 game in about 10
Yeah.
games.
It was the Arsenal game. Was the first game in the league you lost? Yeah.
Yeah, and then we lost at Arsenal. So I think we played like something like about 19 games, and just lost two games, which was unbelievable.
Crazy.
Absolutely,
Absolutely crazy.
The crowd went from, I think the lowest crowd that was Tranmere Rovers, which was 16,000, 17,000, and then the crowd started to go up like the 30,000 and all.
Yeah, I'm looking at them. Yeah, goes up dramatically. Leeds. He played Leeds at the 7th, and there's 40,000 there.
Yeah, but But Leeds was a good game to come and play. Well,
Yeah, people turn up to that one. Leeds in the mid-70s. Yeah, that's not a bad. Yeah, yeah, they
no,
were all right at the
yeah,
time, weren't they? They weren't too shabby, to be honest. To be
yeah.
shabby,
But
and so what? I mean, that's that. And obviously, you said you mentioned going into West Ham. Obviously, the pedigree, which unfortunately left before you joined. But as you said, you had the likes of Billy Bonds coming in, Trevor Brook in, and obviously you had Ron Greenwood. You know, did Ron say to you that first day? Did he? How did he? He need to persuade you to join. But what did he say when you turned up?
now he did say, he said, were you walking down the street? He said, because I passed somebody who looked exactly like you. And I went, yeah, that was me. I said, I was going to get the bus home. And yeah, I take it you were going to get the train. And he said, oh, it was good and all that. He said, but like, he said, you had a great game and all that. And he said, like, that's what we're looking for. And plus the fact, like, not nowadays where you can't tackle anybody nowadays.
Yeah,
Like, we just used to tackle, like all the time. And I remember speaking to Martin Peters and all that, and God rest him. And Martin Peters, he said to me, he said, I wondered what we'd signed when I first saw you against Tranmere, because I clattered their centre, their winger. And he said, I can't believe that. They've never seen wingers tackle their wingers.
oh,
It was just
brilliant.
unbelievable.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And as you said, we were talking about some of the players a little bit later on you played with, and we try and put an 11 together of your
Yeah,
players you played with. But there was, you just look through. I was looking through sort of some of the players you played with, and as you said, we talked about Trev, we talked about Billy, and Frank, and you said John
Frank.
McDowell and Merv the Swirt, and some incredible players. I mean, what was it like? I mean, you made it was 89 appearances for West Ham. What was it like being part of that? Because West Ham is a different club, isn't it? Is a different club. The fans are different. I think and I think that transmits on the team as well. That sort of togetherness that you have, particularly in the era you played in.
Yeah, well, I've got to say, I've got to say, like the lads took me in under the wing and all that. They couldn't understand what I was talking about, but like they just took me under the wing, and without a shadow of a doubt, like, do you know what I mean? There was so many unsung heroes in that team,
Yeah,
and like I joke and to get to a final one year, and then the European Cup Winners' Cup final year after, you must have some sort of side. And we the 2 years we played, like the first year we played and all that, we were bombing up the league because, like, I think we'd only won 1 out of 6 before the Tranmere game. I wasn't there then, but like I played the Tranmere game and all that, and they only won. I think they beat Luton somebody. I think 1-0 or something and all that. And I thought, oh my god, like we're right at the bottom of the league here. And then all of a sudden it's just but John Lyle, he had a lot to do with it as well.
yeah,
John Lyle, do you know what I mean? Like he was his mentor, weren't he? Like Ron Greenwood.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So like,
I think now, and we hear as we said as we chatted on Sunday, we had Tony Carr on the other day, and we were talking about sort of this current crop of in terms of West Ham, in terms of this management regime, in terms of David Moyes, and the fact he's got lots of, not just in the first team, but you've got Kenny, you've got Jimmy, you've got Zavon Hines, you've got Kevin, you've got Steve Potts, and Colton, all involved in that sort of the youth side of West Ham now, and it harks back to, I think, that period where you had Ron Greenwood, you had John Lyle, and then John Lyle would encourage the likes of Ray Stewart to go and do training and stuff like that, and it seems going back that way a little bit. I think we lost our way a little bit under the
yeah.
Pellegrini era, but we seem to be focusing back into what makes West Ham great.
Well, I've got to say, like you just mentioned one name there, which doesn't go down too well with me because, like, I thought he went to Billy Smart's circus. Some of the players he bought, it was just unbelievable. But do you know what I mean? Tony Carr, all them boys and all, Ronnie Boyce and all them, they were
Yeah.
involved as well, weren't they? And it was all good, great atmosphere there as well. Even the staff, the secretary, everybody was involved and all that. and they were all so nice as well.
Yeah, and it's like that now. I mean, obviously, you're as I said, you're with the club ambassadors. I mean, we had Slates on a few weeks ago, and he says it's never been so easy to be a club ambassador. You know, because he used to turn up in the when the team weren't doing so well, and he'll get shouted at that this bloke's beer hasn't turned up, and he's got the wrong call. They don't care now. It's like, oh yeah, it'll come eventually. Hello, Slate's coming for it. It's just totally different. It's a totally different atmosphere around there now.
Oh well, it would be though, wouldn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like when you're winning and all that,
Yeah,
it looked like it was just unbelievable. Like when you walk around the tables now, everybody's asking, what do you think the score will be? What do you think this and all that? Who do you think's playing there and who's playing there and all that? And like it's very hard because like we only get the team sheet about an hour before the
same as
game.
everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we've got to wait till they come round to give them a chat on what we fancy.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, as I said, we've got some great questions. I want to talk about some of the questions and talk about, and then we'll talk about your 11 and stuff. Let's jump into questions because I think that'll be interesting things, and some lovely comments as well, which is nice. Keith, Daniela says used to watch Keith at the bowling ground in the late 1970s. Very good. We saw Daniela yesterday. Good evening, Keith. I hope you're well. I heard back in the day you and Alvin shared digs. Did you share digs with Alvin?
Yeah, I did.
Did you believe that he would go on to achieve what he did in the game?
Yes, I did. I did. Like, tell the truth, like we were in digs together, and something happened and all that. But we left.
Yeah.
We left anyway. But like Alvin, I nicknamed him Stretch.
Yeah.
Because that's his nickname, isn't it? Stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because when we were sitting watching the TV, you could imagine in a little like semi and all that. And he's 6 foot and he's only about 16, 15 or 16, weren't he? And he was only about that. And you could see he was gifted, but he wanted to play football all the time.
Yeah.
And I said, there's a time and a place to play football. I said, like, you don't play it like in your 6-yard box and all that, try and dribble away out there. and I enjoyed it. Like, Alvin was like, I'm pleased he's done well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. What was your best goal you scored for the club, Keith? Technically,
it had to be the Eintracht Frankfurt goal and all that. Do you know what I mean? It was a toss up between that one and I'm not too. I scored a good goal against Middlesbrough as well, and I scored a goal. I better not say too much here. I scored against QPR in the 5th round. I think it was the 5th round. And who was in goal for QPR?
I don't know. Was it someone who then became a world record holding transfer thing for West Ham?
He's a legend at West Ham.
Mr. Parks.
Yeah, Parks.
Mr. Parks. Mr. Parks.
Yeah. So technically though, like we played absolutely fantastic football then as well.
Yeah.
I've got to say that's the best. West Ham has always been the best football side I've played for.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
The best crowd. I don't care what anybody said. The best crowd and all that. Sometimes they get a bit boisterous and all that. Like if you see you're not trying and all that.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I think that's again what sort of I really enjoy about this current crop of players is. You think they're all going to put a shift in. You've got, it's like, I think under, previous management regimes, some of the players you don't think are going to put a shift in. And Mr. Moyes, when he came in, got rid of them pretty sharpish, those people, those individuals. But this team always want to put a shift in. And it harks back to, when I first started watching in the early 90s, that team with Mad Dog and Potsy, and they all put a shift in, and Mark Robson and various others. So, and I think there's, and that's all you have to do to get on with the West Ham fans is try, isn't it? Really, put a shift in.
That's exactly right. If they say you're doing 100% and all that, they'll be over the moon with you. And at the end of the day, like, do you know what I mean? David Moyes, he was there before. It was a bit unfortunate what happened. Something happened, and he left, and then all of a sudden he's come back. But he's come back with a vengeance. He's come back. He knows what he wants. He gets all his players, like you've just said. He gets all his players to work for each other and all that. the drop back, the pick like Cresswell, drop back into Cresswell, Cove, Johnson. They do all the same, but he can put like for like. Do you know what I mean? Like when he's
Yeah.
on the touch line, he'll say like, "Well, right, I'm taking Ben Rama off. Right, I'll bring somebody else on who'll
Yeah.
do the same job as him." Do you know what I mean? But like that's what's good. That's what's good about David Moyes at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like it's been a bit difficult this last year, like and all that with what's gone on and all that.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? He's really. I'm so impressed with him. It's unbelievable.
Me too. Me too. Me too. Keith, what was the first game like under the lights at the bowling ground?
It's just incredible playing when you're used to playing on a Saturday or a Sunday and all that. Well, which we didn't play many Sundays years ago.
No, yeah.
We always used to play Saturdays and all that, or midweek during the summer and all that. But like during the floodlights, you cannot beat the game of football in the floodlights.
Yeah.
And I just think it's fantastic. I'd rather play in the floodlights than play in the daylight, really, to tell the truth.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I suppose at the moment we are pretty used to these Sunday games now, isn't it? So
yeah, they're all Sunday games now at the moment, and like we haven't got. We've had. I think we've had to put 2 or 3 games back.
Yeah.
Which were due for a Saturday, and they've now had to change them back to Sunday.
Yeah,
that's because you're playing in Europe.
I mean, Paul Merson famously said on Sky Sports, only shit teams play on a Saturday.
Yeah.
and I sort of understand what he means, to be honest, because it's true, isn't it? Yeah, it is true. But it is, yeah. You know, I'm still not happy about my Sunday roast though on a Sunday. I wonder what we'll get to on Thursday. Oh, I wonder if we get some French cuisine or something like that. Who knows? Yeah. Oh, can't wait. May we?
I couldn't say that. Like at the end of the day, I think that'll just be a chicken again. Like,
chicken and Monty.
That'll be a chicken again, won't it?
Well, that's the thing. I told Rufus the other day because he was late, and I said, "You missed your roast dinner again." He went, "Oh, and that fucking Mons too." Yeah, Mons too. Right, okay. Won't give my age away, but I loved watching Keith Robson on a Saturday. Proper man's man. There we go, Keith. A proper man's man. Frankfurt aside, what was your best atmosphere at the bowling ground? Is there any other games which stick in mind?
Like I say. Yeah, Russ, that game that night was absolutely electric. It was. I think they shut the gates a few hours before the kickoff because it was that bad, and it rained all day as well. And I've got to say that, like, when you walk out the bowling ground, you used to there was that deep of mud. It was, Russ. It was that deep of mud every time. You used to lose your foot when you used to come out the tunnel and all that. But it was
crazy now, isn't it?
I love a great atmosphere. Even I do now, Russ. Yeah. I just like an atmosphere and all that. Because if you get atmosphere, it puts the jitters up. It puts the jitters up the other team as well.
Really true. Really true. Who in your time did you think was the most underrated? You mentioned a lot of underrated players, and we'll talk about it in a bit. But who do you think was the most underrated player you ever played with at West Ham? Tough one.
Underrated. Well, I see. I think at the back, I thought like everybody knew Frank Lampard was a great player.
Yep.
Everybody knew John McDowell was a good player. The two underrated players was probably Tommy Taylor and Kevin Locke.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Locke was supposedly another Bobby Moore, and all of a sudden, like do you know what I mean? They're just like, when there was a clean sheet and all that, it used to be all down to them because they used to keep a clean sheet and all that. I thought they were the two. I thought Mervyn Day was very underrated as well.
Yeah.
I thought Mervyn Day he could have been a class goalkeeper, Mervyn Day. He played great for us. The 2 years I was there, he played great for us and all that. He made some fantastic saves and all that. But he could have gone on to better things, I would have thought. Well, he went to Leeds as a coach or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he came back to West Ham as an assistant to Curbs, didn't he?
Yeah,
with Curbs. So yeah. No, I mean, that was, as you said. I mean, I was going through all the players that you'd have played with, and it's just like, as you said, it just some of them are just like, oh God, it's like at the moment. Go on, you can.
Russ, there's more. Like Graham Padden was the most underrated player as well.
Yeah,
Graham Padden, Patsy Holland was absolutely fabulous.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like he was another underrated player. But then you get your class players and all that. Then you get your Trevor Brooklyn and Billy Bonds, who was Billy Jennings up front. You know, he weren't a big lad. He weren't a big lad, but he could hang up in the air and all that. Hit
good league,
goals.
put him.
Yeah, and Alan Taylor. Well, Alan Taylor. What can we say about Alan Taylor? Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like his first game's in the cup. He comes in against Arsenal, and we win 2-0, and we got beat there just before that, not long before that. Come in, we get 2-0, and it was that deep of mud again. And then all of a sudden, the semi-final 2 goals, and then the final 2 goals.
it's crazy, isn't it? It's just absolutely crazy when you look at it all. In terms of your Hammers teammates, who was the last to get their round in at the pub? Who was the last one to put his hand in his pocket?
Well, there wasn't many went out.
Wasn't it? It wasn't like that, was it?
No, it was like, well, I would think oh,
Something's triggered him.
yeah, no. I'm not going to say it on TV. I'm not going to say it on TV. He knows who I'm talking about if he's watching this. But it was Alan Taylor.
I'm not going to say it is. I'm going to say it is. It's Alan Taylor.
Yeah. No. He never. All the boys were married, weren't they? All the boys were married then. There was only like me and Billy Jennings who were single.
Yeah.
And we used, like, after the games and all that, Graham Padden and Frank, we used to pop up the beer just have a couple of glasses of beer up the William the Conqueror at Manor Park and then go home.
Brilliant. Love it. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's like, because like when you go to sort of the, you know, I was thinking we've interviewed people like Ian Bishop and that, and obviously, you know, when you think of like McAvenny and, you know, that was all like, it went back into like a drinking culture again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then sort of up until maybe Trevor Sinclair, Razor Ruddock, and then it sort of died down again. But yeah, no, it's I just find it fascinating. More importantly, we've got an important question here. Pie, mash and liquor, yes or no? Did you become accustomed to pie and mash when you came down?
Yeah. No, I didn't, to tell the truth. No, I didn't think I've had it. I'd like, because there was I think the restaurant around the corner was called Casataris.
Yeah, Casataris, yeah.
Was it Well, I was trying to take a leaf off Trevor Brookins because he used to go to a place called Dallas's, just up on top of the bridge where you get the tubes, the trains and all that.
Yeah.
And there used to be a nice restaurant up there, and he used to go in there like so. So me and Billy Jennings used to sneak up there and have a couple of meals there up there.
Nice.
Trying to look posh.
Trying to look posh. Don't know Casataris. We go to the posh one. We're going to Dallas's. Yeah. I love it. Let's do one more question, then we'll talk about your Hammers 11. So, in terms of the current team, we spoke about what you think the team is now. Who would you like to see coming in the summer? What positions would you like to see Moisey get in the summer?
I'd like to see him get a striker.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see him get a midfield player. He might need 2 midfield players, really, because, like, at the moment, we've gone from one extreme to the other, really. Like, Souček last year was the person who was getting forward all the time into the box, scoring goals. And this year, I think Declan Rice, who, by the way, is, without a shadow of a doubt, I would just say the best English player in the league this year.
Oh, without a doubt.
Do you know what I mean? I just like I knew he was a good player, but I didn't think if he wasn't scoring a lot of goals. And I think if he starts scoring goals, God knows what he'd be worth.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Crazy.
no, he's a very, very good player now.
He just has, and again, it's a, you know, you mentioned people like Billy and stuff like that, and you know, I'm not comparing one to the other, but you know, there's certain players generationally, midfielders particularly, who epitomise a team, and obviously Billy came in, and you know, Billy went on to 799 games, and you know, early 2000, Scott Parker maybe epitomised a certain, although he went down, he epitomised that. But this team is just, I mean, Declan Rice epitomises it, and he almost like has that fuck it, I'll do it myself sometimes attitude about him. When it's not quite working, then he would start doing these marauding runs forward, and he's just a joy to watch. He really is at the moment.
He is when he's attacking. It was the same last year though with Lingard.
Yes.
When Lingard came into the team, he took another dimension out of the game. He started to attack them and all that, and the defenders don't like that, do they?
No.
Not when you're attacking like that. But my friend told me, who I played with at Norwich, he said to me, he's the Man United supporter, and he said to me, he said, "You're after Lingard, aren't you?" I went, "Yeah." He said, "If you get him and get him playing, he's a good player."
Yeah.
And he proved it. He proved it every. Well, he was so good last year and all that, and he was scoring great goals.
Yeah, he was. And I think also what I liked about when Lingard played was, I think sometimes when West Ham, not so much recently, but when West Ham players used to pass to each other, when I was it would never go fast. It would get to them, but they didn't seem to drill it. And when Lingard came in, I just realised how fast his passing was.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a ball there. He passes it hard and quickly, and it just seemed to just, when really good players play for your team, you realise how good they are. And he was, I just think he's an exceptional player. Maybe we'll see him back at London Stadium in August. Who knows? Who knows?
But you notice now though, like since Declan Rice has gone with England, that's what they hammer balls into people, don't they?
Yeah.
Like they hammer balls into, and that's where he's got it from, I think, and all that. And that's the only way to be, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. What aspect of the modern game would you wish had existed in your day? Oh, good question, Gatesy. Good
Well,
question.
to tell the truth, I don't. I think all these rules what they're bringing out now is absolutely awful.
Yeah.
God knows, like if you score a great goal, like you're frightened to look around in case like it's been chalked off.
You can't celebrate, can you? It's like we play. It's like we have to. I remember when during lockdown, obviously we'd play. Obviously we were still doing the music and stuff, even though there was only sort of Moisey and Kevin Nolan and Piercy listening. And so they'd score and we'd play like twist and shout because otherwise they'd score a goal and there was no one to celebrate. So we'd play it. And then you sort of had to play it, and then you had to stop it because it would go up to VAR, and even now fans can't really celebrate until it kicks off. Really, they know they can't be chalked off. I mean, if it's sometimes it works in our favour, sometimes it doesn't, but more often than not, it doesn't seem to work in our favour at all. That VAR.
Well, I've got to say, like, I thought they were doing well. The referees and linesmen and all that, and really and truthfully, like you look at rugby when there's rugby thing, the referees they don't run up to them, they don't
No.
try to give them yellow cards and everything like they do now and all that. There's a lot of that goes on as well.
Yeah, it does, and obviously they tried to eradicate that, didn't they? They tried to bring in that rugby rule, the rugby union rule, where any back chat for the ref and he gives it 10 yards forward.
Yeah.
But I think he did it for about 3 or 4 games,
Yeah,
and
I don't think that.
I mean, the ref would literally be walking the ball every 5 seconds because the way they all complain and stuff.
That's why they're all playing walking football now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. No, but like without a shadow of a doubt, like it is absolutely frightening. VAR, as soon as the referee goes like that, you can guarantee it's either a goal, penalty. It's one of the
Yeah.
two.
And the worst one now is when they're going to look at the monitor. That's the one I don't like now because that's definitely changed. If he's like going to go have a look at the monitor, he's not going to go. No, actually, I was right. No,
Yeah.
he's going to say
He's not.
no, he's not. 'Cause he's
dead.
going to exactly go and
Yeah.
check the monitor. I think you've done something wrong. Okay, yes, I've done something wrong. Rather than no, you guys at Stockley Park don't know what you're doing. No, I think it's ridiculous. Right, let's talk about your Hammers 11, Keith. So basically, everyone we've had on the channel. Apart from Harry didn't do it because he was too busy talking about Bobby Ferguson. Ran out of time. Has put together an 11. So the idea is we used to do it with the fans as well. So for the fans, it was like players they've seen during their West Ham fan career. But for the players, it's players that you've obviously played with during your West Ham career. And obviously 89 games, some great players we've spoken about. We've spoken about a lot more. And you can pick. You can do whatever you want, whatever formation. I don't care, Keith, because you're Keith. You can do whatever you want.
The thing is, Russ. Like I said, like when you look at the reserves, like when I went down to West Ham, you look at the reserves like and future first team players, Jeff Pike,
Yeah.
Derbyshire,
Yeah.
Devonshire. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like you can't put them in because like they haven't played at the top level yet. Do
Yeah.
you know
No,
what
I
I mean?
agree. I agree
You
totally. I
know,
think that's
I
very
would
good.
love to put Dev in. I'd love to put Curbs in and Pike in all them. But like when you don't play with them, you play with the players who I've just mentioned,
Yeah.
and it's different. So like
Exactly. I
at the end
totally
of the
agree.
day, I've just picked a side which, without a shadow of a doubt, the amount like I said, to get the cup final and to get the European Cup Cup final, they must have something about them.
Yeah. Definitely.
And
Right.
I remember looking at my sheets and all that, and thinking, do you know, we only lost 2 games in 19, 2 and 20, or 3 and 20 odd or something and all that, and that takes some
Mental.
doing. And like I say, when the first season I was there, I think we were third off top or something. I think it was something like that. But
Yeah.
the year after, I think we started the season. I think we had about 19 games, and we hadn't lost a game or one game in 19. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to pick your players who you think.
Of
And
course, no, I totally agree, and I think that's totally right, mate. Because I think at the end of the day, and also, I mean, as you said, it was such a phenomenal sort of period of relative success as well as. So yeah, as you said, like it doesn't surprise me that that a lot of these players are going to be, it said that the reserve teams were came through and went into prominence, but you never were sort of around that time. So I totally agree with what you said there.
thank you.
Okay, that's good. So who's going to be? I think I can guess the goalkeeper.
You know who the goalkeeper would be? It'd be Mervyn Day, wouldn't it?
That's what I mean. I think you played with Merv, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Mervyn Day was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, phenomenal goal.
Yeah,
And as you said, one,
in all ways, he was good. He was a good. What I like out of my Russ, what I like out of my goalkeepers, I want them to come and catch a ball and tell the defenders what they're doing, whether he can come for it, or get rid of it and all that.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And Mervyn used to do that. Mervyn would come out and catch balls, and he would be just as good on the line as well.
love it. Yeah, totally agree. Right, Merv the Swerve is in. Okay, who's next in your 11?
Well,
Then
John
Keith.
McDowell was just different class. John McDowell.
Yeah,
John
yeah,
McDowell, he was a good defender, and he was good going forward as well. And like when we had to change our side around, if we had to swap them around, Keith Coleman would come in at full back, and John McDowell would go into midfield and all that. So he could play anywhere. He was a versatile man.
yeah. And a lovely set of hair. What a lovely haircut.
Well, I played with him at Norwich as well, Russ.
Yeah,
I played with him at Norwich as well. He was good then.
yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. There's some great, and obviously, I mean, I was looking at some of your pictures at West Ham, and yeah, lovely moustache.
No, don't.
Oh,
My wife didn't like it. She said I look like Groucho Marx, and
oh,
she said,
that's not fair. That's not
"Well,
fair. Look at that moustache. It's beautiful.
well, give us a cigar." She used to say. But at Russ, at the end of the day, like I tried to be like Billy Bonds when I first come down here,
Yeah,
and I grew like a beard. But my
yeah.
wife said, "Oh God, look at you there."
Who do
And
you think you are?
I thought I was trying to be like Billy Bonds and all that. But you've got to keep it trim and see, like yours, like you've got to trim it to.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I was like more like Rolf Harris.
Don't talk about Rolf Harris. No, I had like I grew it down to like here. Like I had it like full, but yeah, it just got really itchy. Yeah, yeah. This is quite long for me at the moment. Right, okay. So we'll put Mervyn Day, John McDowell in. Who's next?
Well, Frank Lampard's got to be in, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Frank Lampard. I've got to say when I first came down here, we had Frank Lampard left back, Graham Paddon left side midfield, and I played up on the left and all that. But like I said to Frank Lampard, we used to have a little crack, me, him, and Graham Paddon, and Frank said, "Right, Graham," he said, "when the geezer gets past you," he said, "I'll get him after that." I went, "Don't worry." I said, "Like, they'll not get past me. Never mind you two."
I love it. I love it. And also, I think with Frank as well. Obviously, we've just had Frank Junior turn up, who I thought looked a bit subdued at the Everton game. He didn't. He didn't look like he was. He didn't. I don't know. I just didn't think his heart's in the Everton job personally.
Well, he sounded good though on television when he came on. He seemed very.
Yeah,
He thinks he'll get out of it, which I think they will as
I
well.
think they will do. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they will do.
I think the bottom three they'll be down there: Watford, Norwich, and Burnley.
Yeah, no, I
I'll
think you're
say
right, mate.
Burnley.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think yeah. It was Everton was just a very strange team on Sunday. They're very disjointed. They had people in all random positions, and
Yeah,
but on
but
another day,
I still thought that I thought they were the second half. I thought they picked up a lot the second half,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden the boy King got sent off again, didn't he?
yeah.
And I thought if he hadn't got sent off, they were getting at us a bit, like because like our lads weren't chasing back and all that.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But it's one of those and I think West Ham of old would have lost that game.
Yeah,
But we just got a 2-1, and it's great. That's what we needed.
that's a great result.
And
Great
Leon
result for us.
and Leon lost 1-3-2. They conceded a few goals. A similar team they were playing to how we were playing Everton. They were playing a team which were sort of languishing towards the bottom of the league as well, and they conceded a couple of goals, which is good. Right, so we got Frank Senior, we got John McDowell, Mervyn Day. Who's next?
Well, I've got we didn't have many centre halves there, did we?
No,
Like,
not really.
and like I said, Tommy Taylor was. Do you know what I mean? Very underestimated player. Tommy Taylor was.
Yeah.
Do I put him in the squad?
Let me find him. I've got Tommy Taylor. There he goes. Yeah, Tommy Taylor. My mate at school, his name was Tommy Taylor, and when we were Orient, we did Orient trials, and he'd go up and they'd ask his name, and he goes Tommy Taylor, and at the time Tommy Taylor was the Orient manager as well, and so they thought he was taking the piss, but yeah. And I think you're right. I mean, towards that, it wasn't loads of centre halves really you played with really that time, was it? To be fair, but as you said, Tommy Taylor, great player, lovely bloke as well.
Yeah.
Who's he going to partner?
Well, he's going. Kevin Lock's going to partner him.
Yeah, so I thought Kevin Lock.
You know what I mean? Like Kevin Lock, you've got to give him his due. Kevin Lock, like he went to Fulham after that, didn't he? I think.
I think so. Yeah, I think somebody in the chat will know. I think he went to Fulham, which was almost the same sort of. It was the same thing as old Bobby. Yeah. So, he really was trying to be the next Bobby Moore.
Yeah.
And that must be hard for him as well. Going in, making as you said, with the assumption that he was going to be the next Bobby Moore. It must be awful. Must be having that sort of on your back, so to speak. But yeah, as you said, very underrated player at West Ham.
Yeah, very, very underrated.
Yeah. Right. Okay. There's your back four sort of thing. Right. Let's go into your midfield. Who's your first midfielder then?
Well, my first midfield is Graham Padden on the left.
I thought so. I thought old Graham would be on there.
Yeah, he had to be on there because he was another workhorse, Graham, up and down all day, and God bless him.
And again, lovely hair.
Oh God, I'll tell you something now. He was probably one of the best looking lads out of our team, really.
Yeah.
We didn't have many. It was him and Billy Jennings.
Yeah. Brilliant. And actually, Kevin Lock looked like it was West Ham, Fulham, and then went to Southend. So, didn't Bobby Moore, wasn't Bobby Southend manager for a while as well, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, just for a little while though.
Yeah. See, I knew someone in the chat would know. That's why I never read anything, because someone in the chat will always tell me I was wrong anyway. Right, we'll put Graham Padden on the left. Who's next?
Well, I put Patsy Holland on the right.
Oh, Patsy Holland. I love Patsy. Such a lovely man.
Yeah, he is a beautiful man.
And, I mean, it was when we was doing something the other day of players who didn't play for England and stuff, and John McDowell, I don't think played for England. I don't think he got a cap. Graham Padden didn't. I don't think Patsy got one as well. Frank got two, didn't he? He got 7 years apart or something like that. It was a time where Merv didn't get one either. Lovely man, Patsy Holland. We've had him on before. Big fan.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I love it.
Good boy to go out with.
Was he? Was he a good lad to go out with, old
Yeah, he
Patsy?
used to bring his wife with him all the time. Then he like,
Yeah.
so that was perfect.
Well, apparently, look, Kevin Locke was signed by Bobby Moore at Southampton, at Southend.
Oh, was he?
Well, there we go. See,
Oh, I didn't know that.
I did not know that. So thank you, Gatesy. Cheers, mate. So we've got Padden on the left, Holland on the right. Who's next?
Well, you've got to put the two big lads in there, can you?
Got to
You've got to
put
put
me.
Trevor Brooken. You've got to put Trevor Brooken in there. Trevor
Yeah.
Brooken, absolutely superb on his day. Absolutely wonderful player.
Yeah.
Gifted and everything. Like, and what do you say? How many caps did Trevor get?
Do you know what? I've had that. I put that somewhere. I'll have a look in a minute. But yeah, I'll have a look. But yeah, he got quite a few, didn't he, at England? I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's. I mean, I think I know who you're going to put on for the second person in that team. But in terms of Trevor, he epitomised, one sort of. I think with West Ham, there's sort of West Ham fans. There's sort of two types of players. There's sort of your Trevor Brooking type players, and then there's probably your other person's type of player, and so they're sort of, one's very silky. You wouldn't see Trevor Brooking getting stuck in for a tackle, but he let his other person do that for him, and vice versa. So Trevor got 47 caps for England.
Did he?
Yeah.
How many Billy Bonds get?
Less than 47 minor. Yeah, he got 0. Did old Billy Bonds?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. And how could you believe that? And how could you believe that? You couldn't believe that, would you?
Crazy, particularly around that time as well. When you think around that sort of time where there was Emmy Hughes and people like that were getting lots of caps, and he didn't. And
there was a lot of good midfield players about then, wasn't there?
Yeah,
there was a lot of good midfield players, but Billy deserved it because he was all 100 minutes. 100 minutes a game he would run. He'd done the same in training as well, though. He'd be off the pitch and getting in his Cortina XL, wherever it was, and getting himself away home. So he was a great lad, though, brilliant person.
Yeah, we've had when people have spoken about Billy, how as you said, a couple of you lads might have a quick beer or whatever. He was nick the 4-pack and straight home to his family, weren't he? Billy was. There's certain players who think when they sort of cross that white line, they become different. And I think Billy was that type of player, ferocious on the pitch, but then a real gentleman off the pitch. And that's what I mean. I think most West Ham fans, their favourite players fit into the Billy Bonds type player. Puts his foot about, likes to put it about a bit, or the Trevor Brooking silky. And occasionally there's a player who fits in the middle, and they'll be revered for the rest of time. But Billy and Trevor, and I can imagine all you lot, obviously, and obviously as you said, the bogs, the pitches that you played on. Could you imagine you guys playing at London Stadium? Jesus, it would be incredible, absolutely incredible.
The thing was, though, Russ, like years ago, like because it was that deep, like divots and all that coming out the ground and all that. Not like these now, because the pitches now are all like grass and nylon stick together. So when you get a piece come up, it'll come back straight back down. You can put it straight back in, doesn't it?
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's absolutely fabulous. It must be fabulous playing on them pitches, though.
Yeah.
It's like when you were getting the ball years ago, like and all that. If the ball was coming to you, you used to have to look for the ball till it was on your foot. Like now, it's like a tracker. It's like a tracker now. You just like it automatically comes to your foot because it can't bounce anywhere else.
That's crazy. But also, I'd love to see like the likes of Messi and Ronaldo on the bogs of pitches you guys played out and see what they could do there. Because it would be a totally different story. Different story. Right. Okay. So there's your midfield. You got Matt. You got Patsy Holland, Trevor Brooking, Billy Bonds, Graham Padd. I tell you, it's an incredible team. Right. Yeah. Who are we having up front? Who's your first striker then?
Well, you've got to put Sparrow in, haven't you?
Sparrow.
Alan Taylor.
There we go. See, I don't know that. I was like, we had. Do you know? I don't know. Do you know what that happened? To be the first time I think we had Tony Gale on, and he basically picked the whole team through the nicknames. And
Yeah.
so he was like, Stretch, we got Robot. I was like, what? I literally don't know who you were talking about. And he went, oh, okay, all right, bloody hell. Da, 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 da. But Sparrow, yes, Sparrow, yes, yes, yes. Lovely Alan Taylor.
Yeah, I nicknamed him as well.
It's like, I'm gonna have to. I trios. I'm gonna have to put like, let me put T Taylor and A Taylor. Otherwise, people are gonna go, oh, he's picked him twice. But yeah, no, Alan Taylor, a lovely man, and as you said, just similar. I mean, when you started, you went on this scoring spree. Even scored like 5 goals in 6 games or something like that. And as you said, Alan coming in and scoring, and top man, lovely man.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely.
No, without a shadow of a doubt. Do you know what I mean? What a wonderful thing to do that is. And I don't think it'll ever be beat, will it?
No, I don't think it will be.
I can't see that happening. Anyway.
And he was a good looking. I mean, he's a good looking lad in that picture as well.
Yeah, but he was married. Let's be fair, Russ. Russ, you've got to go for the unmarried one, by the way. I don't know.
You don't worry.
You know that. Like now, like I'm good looking now, but I'm married as well, Cecil.
Yeah, same as me. Yeah. That's what the wife said. The wife said, "I've come out the other end. I've gone through the knackered dad stage. There's a period where you've had a kid, and like all the dads just look knackered, and apparently I'm coming out of it now. So,
that's good. That's a good sign.
Nice to tell me that. I don't believe it is. I'm still knackered, but anyway. Oh dear! And who's gonna complete this puzzle? Who's the last piece of this team?
Well, I can't put myself in, can I? Because
you could do if you wanted to.
So at the end of the day, like I've got to put Billy Jennings in because like he's my mate.
Yeah, because he's your mate. I love it.
Yeah. Well, but he was a good player when he first come from Watford and all that. I think he scored 5 goals when we first got that run. When I was telling you going through them. And I scored 5 goals in 4 matches. He scored 5 in 6.
Love it.
I think that, like at the same time.
Crazy, isn't it? It's just those goals. And again,
and he loves scoring goals, though, Billy.
There's certain players that and I think there are. I mean, for me, there's players that you see, and obviously talking to guys like yourselves, and there's certain ones who loved scoring. I mean, do you remember, like throughout your history, if your career, do you remember all the goals you scored to because I remember we had Bobby Gordon, and he's got these books of every season he's played in. He writes everything down when he was playing. Do you get to that sort of level, or do you just remember the good goals?
Well, no, to tell the truth, like you remember some of them, but like at the end of the day, I remember we drew 2-2 with Derby, and I think I scored a good goal because I remember Brian Moore, God bless him, at the London Weekend Television. He said because he had me on against Middlesbrough, and I scored a header against Middlesbrough. And he said to me, is that one of your best goals you've scored through your career? I went. Now the Derby goal. So I'm yet to see that Derby goal. It must be a good goal though, where I scored. I can't remember.
I'll find it. I'll find it.
It for me.
I'll find it. I'll give it to you on Thursday if I find it.
Yeah.
I tell you, no, Martin will have it. I'll ask Martin. It was you and me, and there was the elderly gentleman with the beard. He's got everything. We'll talk to him. We'll talk to him on Thursday, and we'll get him to do a little because that's what we do. We do these appreciation nights, and he's got all the stuff. So we'll have a word. He might be able to put all those 19 together for you.
Great.
We'll sort that out. We'll sort that out, man. There's a team. What a team! What a team!
Well, I think it's a great side.
That's a great side, man.
Well balanced side.
Yes, well balanced. I think it's great. Absolutely perfect. Keith, my man, I said I was going to be an hour, and I am got 16 seconds left. I'm a man of my word. I said an hour, and it'll be an hour, my man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Russ,
I know you don't. Go on.
Russ, tell all the supporters for Thursday. Get the rattles out and everything and all that for Thursday. They
won't let you have rattles anymore now. They think you throw them on the pitch.
Well, I was watching the Ghent supporters. I was watching against supporters, and they were throwing that water bottle.
Yes, less said about that the better.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. But no, I totally agree. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. I think the fans are get really buzzing, and I think as I said, the ex players, all you guys are really excited. We're excited as the sort of behind the back, sort of the back door type things in terms of. Everyone is really excited about it, and it's going to be great, man. And I really appreciate it, Tom. I know you don't usually do these types of things, but it's been brilliant. And there's some lovely comments in here, man. I really appreciate your time. Absolutely appreciate your time.
Thank you very
man.
much, Wes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And well done to Mrs. Robson for figuring out how to use the computer and stuff. Thank you.
Well, she should know. She's been using them for 35, 40 years.
Oh, I love you.
Good job my daughter weren't there.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll kick you out, mate. Don't leave. Don't worry about leaving. But thank you so much, man.
I'll see you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday. Take care,
man. Thank you very much.
Care.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Bye. There he is, Keith Robson. Thank you so much. Absolute legend. What a lovely man. Lovely man. Loves West Ham. And a great side. What? Let's show that side again. Where's it gone? There's a side. Let me show that side again. And mate, when you just think about some of the players that were mentioned, Mervyn Day, John McDowell. I mean, to be honest, a lot of these players we don't mention them very often, and it's criminal that we don't mention. And obviously, we do the appreciation night, so we're doing more and more of these appreciation nights. Although we've got a big one coming up next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I believe, is the. Give me 2 seconds because I want to make sure I get this right. We've got a very special appreciation night next Tuesday. Yes, that's right. It'll be next Tuesday. We're doing it on Bobby Moore because it will be his 81st. It would have been his 81st birthday next Tuesday. Is it next Tuesday? The 12th of April. Yeah, the 12th of April, 1941. He was born. So it would have been his 81st birthday. So we're doing a Bobby Moore appreciation night. So that's for next week. Tomorrow we've got the preview for the Lyon game. There won't be a watch along on Thursdays. Anton's coming down with me. But there will be the lunchtime show on Thursday, obviously with the lunchtime show tomorrow, but the lunchtime show on Thursday will be outside the ground, match day morning, match day lunchtime type thing. So make sure you check that out. I mean, what a great team. John McDowell, Tommy Taylor, Kevin Locke, Lampard, Graham Padden, Billy Bonds, Brookin, Patsy Holland, Alan Taylor and Jennings. We're hoping to get Alan on. And now we've got Keith on. We'll get Alan on. Which should be good. I'm looking forward to talk to that lovely man. So that's going to be good. Let's have a look for the comments. Cheers, Keith. Thank you very much. Thank you, James. Thank you too. Best ever, Russ and Keith. Thank you. Cheers, usual suspects. Make sure you check out all the other stuff. We've had a good run recently. Tony Carr was great last week as well. Really interesting. Great. Cheers, Budgie. Hope you're well. Absolute pleasure. Paul. Hope you're well. Thank you very much. Ludders. Thank you. Russ, amazing coincidence you have this on tonight, as most of the players featured in Rob Banks' documentary of the last years. Which, yes, Rob's been doing that on the Rob Banks. You can search for Robert Banks, his channel, and it's on there. And he's doing that lull years, sort of the early, sort of mid 70s at the moment, and yeah, no, he messaged me afterwards because he was, yeah. So we'll promote that a little bit because it's some really interesting stuff. It's stuff we couldn't put on because it'll be taken down for copyright because Rob's not monetized. It's okay. Daniela says Frank Lampard best left back in the last 50 years. I think you'll forget of Pablo Romero and Arthur Masuaku, but apart from that, a close third. Am I joking? I can't comment. I'd say Julian, but I wasn't around to see Frank. And if you saw, we did a Julian Dix appreciation night last week, and I think Nigel carried up the same opinion because he didn't really see much of Frank in his pomp, so to speak. Cheers, Bob. Thank you very much. If you're new around here, I don't think so. I've got a lot of new people, new names, but if you are, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be back, as I said. Anton will be, because I've got Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm in the office. That's why you don't get me lunchtime, unfortunately. So Anton will be back tomorrow for a daily and the Hammers headlines. We sort of saw that quite nicely, actually. Monday, Thursday, Fridays, I sort of do the dailies and the headlines, and Anton does the Tuesday, Wednesdays. But it'll be an Anton day tomorrow because you'll have lunchtime with Anton. That's what we should call it, lunchtime with Anton, really. But West Ham Daily Hammers headlines, and then you'll have the preview for the Lyon game, which will be tomorrow evening. And then, as I said, I'm back to the lunchtime show on Thursday. We'll do it from outside the stadium. It may be 1 o'clock rather than 12:30, and that depends what time I can get to the stadium in time. But we're doing that, and then there won't be a watch along, but there will be a review show, hopefully live from the stadium, if I can find Anton, because he's going, but he won't be. But he'll be hanging around because he won't be. He'll probably have got the sleeper train back to Scotland, so he has to hang around for a few hours. So we'll try and do a live review show, hopefully after the game, the Lyon game. So make sure you check all that out as well. As I said, if you're new, Andy, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share. Sorry, Frank was bad. I can only go by your judgment, Danielle, because I never saw Frank play, unfortunately, but I go by your judgment. As I said, if you're new, Andy, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe, maybe become a channel member. We'll be doing the draw for the shirt, the first raffle, the monthly raffle. We'll probably do that maybe Friday. Might do a Friday show, or maybe we'll do it Thursday night and I draw it out of a hat live from the outside the stadium. We'll figure it out. But the first members raffle will take place on this week. So if you want to become a member, you can hit the join button here, become a member, and then you're automatically entered into the raffle. And we've got them every month, so with a little bit of signed memorabilia or something cool, which we'd give to you as a raffle prize as a thank you. So it's not really the membership is like a raffle ticket basically. I hope that all makes sense. And also, I like to thank all the channel members at the end of each of our shows. So take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Stay lucky. Stay cheeky. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Take care, my friends. Ciao, ciao for now.
It's like a family tree, part of you and